Today, we're putting it all together. Real jazz language over a 2-5-1. Let's go. Before we get this video started, what's the baddest 2-5-1 you've ever heard? Leave your answer in the comments.
Hey! Oh, man, the video.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Gregory Agid, and I'd like to welcome you back to my part 3 video on 2-5-1s. Thunder. It's an ominous day here in New Orleans, and you can hear the thunder outside, so let's try that one more time. What's going on, y'all? My name is Gregory Agid, and I'd like to welcome you to part 3 of my 2-5-1 series. Welcome back. In part 1, we dug into the arpeggios that correlate with each one of the chords of a 2-5-1. In part 2, we checked out the scales that correlate with each one of those chords. And today, in part 3, we're going to implement some real jazz vocabulary over a 2-5-1. Once again, we're going to be using the chord changes from Autumn Leaves. Once you understand the arpeggios and the scales that correlate with each one of the chords of a 2-5-1, it's time to start checking out some actual vocabulary. In today's video, we're actually going to steal some vocabulary from the greatest jazz musicians to ever live: Sonny Rollins, Chet Baker, and Dexter Gordon. Now, I know some of y'all are initially thinking, stealing vocabulary from other cats, isn't the point of being a jazz musician to have your own unique sound? Yes, the goal of every jazz musician is to have their own unique sound. But y'all, there is nothing wrong with stealing or borrowing vocabulary from other cats. And in this moment, I'm kind of reminded of this great quote: amateurs borrow, artists steal. And we want to steal vocabulary from the greats and make it our own. Don't ever be worried about sounding like Charlie Parker or Sonny Rollins or Dexter Gordon. Y'all, you're probably never going to sound like any of those cats. Like, they're literally the greatest musicians to ever live. If you have to be worried about sounding like Charlie Parker, that might be a good problem. A lot of people talk about the importance of tradition in jazz music. And when we use the word tradition, that doesn't mean trying to recreate something that's already been done. And when we're taking vocabulary from great musicians like Charlie Parker or Sonny Rollins, we're not trying to sound exactly like Charlie Parker or trying to sound like exactly like Sonny Rollins. That's not the point of taking vocabulary. The intention is that we want to tell other people in our community, hey, I've checked out Charlie Parker. Hey, I've checked out Sonny Rollins. And this is what I think it sounds like. The intention is never to say, hey, look, I'm a Sonny Rollins clone. Hey, look, I'm a Dexter clone. All we're really saying is I've checked out the history, and through my experience, this is what I think it is. What we're going to do is we're going to take a major 2-5 and a minor 2-5, and then we're just going to implement both of those 2-5-1s over the chord changes of Autumn Leaves. This is the first major 2-5. Check it out. I'm going to get my clarinet. Wow. Our first lick comes from the great Sonny Rollins, and if you by chance know the solo it comes from, drop the answer in the comments. The lick starts with an approach note to the flat 7 of the D minor, and then we descend the D minor chord. Check it out. And at the end of that lick, we have a little enclosure landing on the flat 7 of the G7. On the G7, I kind of think of this lick as a variation of the honeysuckle rose lick. Check it out. I just hear that as a variation of the honeysuckle rose lick. And then we're going to descend a G augmented chord. Check it out. Then we're going to enclose the root of the C major 7 and walk up the scale. Check it out. In the second video, we talked about dominant chords being tension chords, and we can add alterations to create more tension on the dominant chord. And this is a great example of adding an alteration to create more tension. We have a sharp 5, and we're playing a G augmented chord instead of a G major triad. G augmented, or G with a sharp 5, is resolving to the C major 7. So the first thing I would recommend you do is just loop this lick a couple times so you get it under your fingers. Now that we know this 2-5-1, every time we see a major 2-5-1, let's play this exact lick. Let's check out the minor 2-5-1, and this lick comes from the great Dexter Gordon. Killing lick, right? This is a relatively simple 2-5, but it's really killing. The lick starts by playing an E 4 times over the B minor 7 flat 5. On the E7 flat 9, we're kind of doing this enclosure-esque thing. We're on the root, we go up to the flat 9, back down to the root, down a half step, which is a neighbor tone, and we go back to the root, the E. Then we're going to jump all the way up to a B, which is the 5th of the E7 flat 9, and then drop down to the major 3rd, which is the G sharp. And then we're going to resolve to the A, which is the root of the A minor 7. And that kind of acts as an enclosure of the root of the A minor 7. And then we're going to wrap up the lick by descending the A minor triad and playing a little blues lick at the end. Both of these licks are going to take your playing to an entirely new level. Y'all, it's the actual application of the chord scale theory. It's real language happening in real time. Because Autumn Leaves is only comprised of a major 2-5 and a minor 2-5, you can play both of these licks throughout the entirety of the tune. Let's just loop the first 8 bars playing both of those 2-5-1s. Let's go. In this 3-part video series, we checked out the arpeggios, we checked out the scales, and now we've dug into a little vocabulary. And when you're improvising, you want to be able to combine all of these different techniques. You want to be able to know all of the arpeggios so that you can improvise over the arpeggios. You want to be able to know all of the scales so that you can improvise using all of the scales. And then you also want to have vocabulary at your fingertips or in your ears so that you can also reference all of this vocabulary. So you can use the arpeggios and the scales to kind of create your own licks, create your own vocabulary. Then you can take vocabulary from other musicians and you can play them kind of verbatim. You can make different variations of them. You can combine the licks with the arpeggios. You can combine the scales with the arpeggios, any mix match that you can kind of think of. Eventually, you just want to have a great grasp of all of these different things so that you can flow and improvise in the moment. And when we talk about practice, this practice time is a structured time where we actually work things out. We're going to work out the arpeggios. We're going to work out the scales. We're going to work out the licks. But when we're playing, the goal is to just improvise. We've done all the work in the practice room. And when we play, we can just focus on playing and creating music in the moment. If you all are interested in getting the sheet music, you can visit my website, and I have an entire PDF packet that includes all of the arpeggios, the scales, and a couple etudes written with several different licks. All right, y'all, I hope this video helped you on your journey. Like always, if you're enjoying my content and want to show me some love, please give me a like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button. You can leave a super thanks. You can visit my website where you can download some PDFs, or if there's some other way you want to show me some love, I would very much appreciate that. Like always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.